Good evening, everyone. My name is Ayla Medina, and it is a pleasure to speak at our 8th grade graduation tonight. I would like to begin by saying that I have not lived in Carlisle my entire life. But from the very first time I stepped into this school, I held on to the hope that somehow, someday, I would truly belong. When I was 7 years old, my family immigrated here from the Philippines with the help of my aunt and uncle. I came with my mom and my 2 brothers. It was terrifying. We were leaving behind not just a country, but an entire way of life. While we were preparing to immigrate, I had to miss all of 1st grade because our only focus was getting everything ready: health documents, legal papers, money, and countless other things that didn't even make sense to 7-year-old me. People often remind me how young I was and ask if I even remember what it was like to leave a place I loved so much. I couldn't tell you what I was wearing that day or what I ate for lunch. But I can tell you every emotion I felt, even if I seemed too young to understand them. I still remember the crushing pain in my heart and the tears in my eyes when I realized I had to leave most of my family behind. Soon, I would be boarding an airplane to America. I felt an emptiness, as though I were losing the place I was always meant to call home, leaving a hole in my heart instead. I vaguely remember the day we officially arrived. It was early December, and the cold weather was so different from the warm sunshine of my village. I had fewer family members around me, and I no longer heard the laughter of my loved ones back home. As soon as I got here, I wondered whether America would ever feel like home. I worried about my accent, my English, and how people would see me. I feared they would judge me simply because I wasn't born here. Moving from the Philippines to Massachusetts felt like proving that a life I once had was still alive somewhere else. As an Asian American searching for belonging, you make many sacrifices in a place that can sometimes make you feel like an outsider. Few people understand the sacrifices my mom made. She left behind everyone she loved to work exhausting jobs in a country that still sometimes makes her feel temporary. The food here was different. I was surprised that people didn't eat rice every day. Even now, the smallest taste of my childhood brings back memories more deeply than I can explain. For a moment, I'm connected again to the version of myself who felt completely immersed in my culture before it slowly began slipping away. No one understands the feeling of becoming too American for the Philippines while never feeling American enough here. Losing Filipino words sometimes feels like losing proof of where I came from. People only saw the person I became. They didn't know what my family had gone through. You might look at me and think I'm just like everyone else, but I promise you, I grew up differently. You could walk into your kitchen and drink water from the tap. You could throw your clothes into the dryer and have them ready an hour later. You could take a shower without worrying about cold water. Even though I was young, I remember not having those everyday comforts. Sometimes I feel like the real version of me was left somewhere between the sunshine, lumpia, spring rolls, Friday afternoons, the smell of warm rain on concrete, and memories I can never fully explain to someone who has never had to leave home behind. I was afraid of the language barrier. Deep down, I knew I wasn't prepared. I was scared people would think I was quiet, not realizing that I was translating everything in my head before speaking. My first year here was 2nd grade. I walked into school with a smile on my face, but inside I was terrified. I worried that one wrong word in English would embarrass me. Those fears shaped how I acted. For a long time, all I did was nod or shake my head, hiding the fact that my stomach was in knots because I was so afraid of how people saw me. I was afraid they saw me the way I saw myself, a stranger, an outsider, an alien. But Carlisle gave my older brother, Kurt, and me incredible support. This school fulfilled my hope of finally belonging. Carlisle helped me learn English quickly. Over time I improved, although I still felt like I wasn't good enough. I actually wrote this speech in Tagalog before translating it into English because, somewhere in translation, some of the meaning gets lost. The deepest emotions are easiest to express in my first language. There have always been challenges in speaking two languages. So when people compliment my English, it reminds me how far I've come from not knowing a word to standing here today, speaking in a language that once felt completely unfamiliar before hundreds of people in my community. That still amazes me. I was once afraid to learn English, but over time it became part of who I am. I now carry two languages, two accents, and two identities. Together they hold the parts of me that have never changed. Through every struggle, I always felt supported here. Carlisle turned obstacles into opportunities and struggles into progress, allowing me to live my own version of the American dream through growth, resilience, and possibility. Every teacher has made an impact on who I am today. Their patience, encouragement, and dedication have meant more than they know. Because of their support, I've become more confident in myself and my abilities. Carlisle was the perfect place for me to discover who I am. People always say, everyone knows everyone. It's a small town. But if we think about it, that's exactly what makes us such a close community. High school is only one step away. I'll never be a middle schooler again. It feels like only yesterday I was watching the city lights, hearing my native language under the open sky, wondering what my future would become. And now I'm standing here before all the parents who helped their children become the people they are today. Especially my parents, who carried the weight of uncertainty and started over so I could be here graduating. They made impossible choices for my future and gave up pieces of their own lives so I could have opportunities they never had. Middle school wasn't easy. It often felt like every week brought a new challenge. But I'll always appreciate every student here because of the friendships and memories we created together. I came here knowing no one. Instead, I found people who surrounded me with a kind of love that many spend their whole lives searching for. I found friends who made me laugh until I couldn't breathe, family members who were always there for me, and a boyfriend who brought joy into my life. Our time in Carlisle went by far too quickly. Sometimes the hardest part of leaving is realizing how deeply you've grown to love a place. Life moves so fast. Moments end. People grow up. No matter how much we wish we could stop time, it keeps moving forward. We all leave pieces of ourselves behind. We all get lost in translation. I hope each of you knows that you helped shape the person I have become. And to every teacher, thank you for standing beside me whenever I needed guidance or confidence. Take one look around and really take it all in. Look how quickly everything went by. There were probably days when you thought everything was falling apart. But look where you are now. There were days when I felt like I hadn't worked hard enough. Days when I dreaded going to school and wanted to skip classes I had given up on. But I kept pushing myself because I knew that an education is a privilege my immigrant family sacrificed so much to give me. Some people may only see this as graduating and receiving a diploma. But I see the years behind it. I see growing up between two cultures. I see the pressure of making my parents' sacrifices mean something. What I have learned is that even when we leave places behind, we never leave behind who we are. Looking around tonight, I am grateful for every parent who is here supporting their child. You have watched your children grow up so quickly. But the first person I looked for in the audience cannot be here because of the hardships of immigration. I wish my dad could be here tonight. Right now, we are separated by different countries. Sometimes it feels like loving someone you barely had the chance to grow up with. Sometimes I envy people who can share even the smallest moments with their fathers because I know I can't. And yes, it hurts. Being separated from someone you love has never been easy. But there is another kind of love in that separation, a love built on sacrifice. My dad stayed behind so I could have this opportunity. Tonight, as I walk across this stage, I carry his love and support with me. The reason I stand here today is because of everything my immigrant family endured. Every hardship they faced made this moment possible. Because of them, I realize that although this journey has sometimes been painful, it has given me the life I once only dreamed of. Love has always existed here in Carlisle. Even though I wasn't born here, I built a home here. Together, we have created something meaningful. I hope we all remember that no matter where life takes us, we will always carry a part of this school and a part of each other with us. To my family, especially,